Download the SVP app today on Roku, Apple, and Fire TV. Watch us. You know why? We're gonna make you fall in love with SVP TV.
Welcome to Couch Convo with Coach Karla. I'm your host, Coach Karla. Thank you all so much for tuning in, and this is where we give you life tips, tools, and solutions to help make life better for you. I am joined with my special guest tonight, attorney Angela Greene. Welcome, Angela.
Thank you, Karla, for having me.
We are welcoming her on the show because she has a very special event coming up this Sunday at 5 p.m., right?
That's correct. And
the name of her movie, it's previewing. It's called The Fifth Step. But first, let me tell you all a little bit about Angela. Over the years, she has represented or worked with artists such as Larry Dodson, lead vocalist for the Barcades, the Funk Masters, Mr. Dale, Lil Rounds, Black Rock Revival, DeMario, and the Tennessee Mass Choir, and various other artists and companies across the country. She has served as a guest panelist for the Franklin International Film Festival, International Black Film Festival, Memphis Music Foundation, the Memphis Music Commission, the Atlanta Gospel Fest, and the Bobby Jones Gospel Industry Retreat. She is also credited as an executive producer for the feature film Coming to Africa, Welcome to Ghana. Again, thank you.
Thank you, Karla. I appreciate that.
So, of course, she also has her own law firm. Is there anything else that you feel that it's important for people to know about you? What would you like to say to our audience?
Well, I want to first thank you for having me here on your platform.
You're
and
welcome.
I welcome all those who are watching us live as well as the replay. I am also the principal owner of the Greene Law Firm. Mm-hmm. We are a boutique real estate law firm and title insurance agency. So that's what I call my day job.
Okay.
But I'm also executive director of On Location Memphis.
Yes.
That's a nonprofit arts organization here, which is the organization behind Memphis movie production and the film that's coming up on this Sunday, The Fifth Step.
Yeah, and I'm excited about it.
Thank you.
So tell us a little bit more about the film so that people can know what it's about.
So The Fifth Step is basically about Alcoholics Anonymous. You know that there are 12 steps, and so this film is basically focused on the fifth step.
Okay.
And so the fifth step is, just to basically sum it up, it's essentially that step where the person acknowledges their wrongs, they admit them to themselves as well as to God, and then to someone else.
Yeah.
And so in this film, this character, he is a recovering alcoholic going through his 12-step program, and on this particular day, he's going to turn to his brother for help, and he's forced to deal with his fifth step and basically face the family dynamics that basically they basically, what's the word I want to say, challenge his recovery. That's what it is. Yeah.
Okay. Wow. And that's interesting because as a therapist, I've worked at a treatment center, and so seeing clients go through that step, and it is one of the more arduous or challenging steps.
Yes.
Because, they go through contacting people if they're able to do that, and really having to face up to some big challenges.
Right.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So how did you feel the environment was? Well, first of all, did you film the movie in Memphis? And then how did you feel the environment was here in terms of support for your film?
Oh, we were very supportive. We filmed it in Shelby County, and it was a part of our workforce development program. So with On Location Memphis, our mission is we teach entertainment business through real life application. So our programs are around creating opportunities for people to do business and learn through actually doing that business. So we also started focusing on workforce development, specifically the below the line jobs for the TV and film production.
Okay.
And fortunately, we were able to get some seed money a couple of years ago from Frontline Solutions, which is funded by the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation. We had submitted a grant for a larger amount. We didn't get that grant. However, they thought it was compelling enough to give us seed money to check it out. And so it was two. So we were basically beta testing an idea.
Okay.
Part was in-class instruction. So we partnered up with the Memphis and Shelby County Film and Television Commission, and we hosted some weekend training sessions, which was more like a classroom setting. And they were dealing with construction, painting, sewing, you know, just different areas. And then the other part of it is actually producing a short film and giving opportunities for individuals who may have just been trained, or they're getting their first or second credit in that area. So they're basically building their resume, making a little money, putting their skills to use, and then just kind of learning how to start navigating in that space. And so this film was that film project. So it was a beta test, 2-part beta test. And we were very supported by the Film Commission. Of course, we were very supported by the music creators and the filmmakers and actors and everyone in the Memphis film community.
Good, that's wonderful. So that's good news. And I know that there is another Memphis attorney here who also produced a movie. So is that a trend you think we're going to continue to see in Memphis?
You never know. I mean, we do have a creative streak in us.
Yes, okay.
Attorney Henry Reeves is who you're talking with, Queen Rising.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Okay, and so now you are an attorney. What made you be interested in the film industry?
So in all actuality, when I moved here back in about 97, 98, I was interested in the music industry. And so when I moved here from right after I graduated from law school, I was interested in the gospel music industry in particular, so I thought Tennessee would be a good place to get my license, kind of position myself to be able to do it, if that's what I was able to get into. And so when I moved here, I built my practice on real estate, because unfortunately I learned with Memphis, there were not a lot of artists in which I could build a whole entertainment law practice exclusively in Memphis. So I built the real estate, but I was still doing the music, and many of my artists were always interested in placement. You know, how do you get your music placed in TV and film projects and everything? Right. And so around that time, I was invited to sit on the board of On Location Memphis. They actually hosted one of the International Film and Music Festivals at that time, and they were in the planning phase, and I got invited to the planning meeting and then ultimately invited to sit on the board. So that's when I was introduced to the film, the independent film space. And it was quite interesting to me, because it's almost like the worlds parallel. The independent music creator and the independent filmmaker, their worlds collide or parallel. And so it was very interesting, same challenges and such. And I also learned that the reason why it was so hard for independent music creators to get placement was because a lot of times the independent filmmakers didn't understand licensing. They didn't understand copyrights. And the music is so important to that film project. It could actually, you know, if the music and the paperwork is not correct, it can derail that project as far as how far it can go, distribution opportunities and things of that nature. So they held it very close to the chest. You know, they either did it themselves or they worked with friends, people that they knew. And even that was not necessarily going to protect them, because you don't know if your friend is doing everything that they need to do if you don't do it yourself. And so, and then if you're using free music, that may not be the best adjustment, you know, do your project the best justice. So that's kind of how I got, you know, just interested in that. So I started kind of working in that space on both sides.
Okay, all right. And so what, I heard you mention real estate law. What side of law did you enter in when you first got started?
So when I first started, the first law firm I worked for, they put me in the real estate department. And so I pretty much learned the real estate game from the ground up. Even though I was a licensed attorney, there were several attorneys in the firm, so I had to actually function more as a paralegal / closer. So I really just did it all, closer, pre-closer, closer, and then attorney, went to the table. And so, but that was very beneficial because I learned the business from the ground up. So every aspect of it I did learn, and so I was able to kind of build my practice with that. So that's where I started, but I was still doing the entertainment on the side.
Okay, so real estate, entertainment, are there other areas of law that you practice as well?
So we also do corporate business, contracts, nonprofits, of course. We file the 1023 applications so people can get their 501c3 status.
Okay.
So we do that. Some probate, but not a lot.
Okay.
And we do have an extended network, so civil litigation and all of that. We do have an extended network that we can connect people to, depending on what it is that they need.
But no criminal law, huh?
Oh, no.
So
no criminal.
So she's not coming to get you out of jail.
No, do not call me.
And it's funny because, you know, as a therapist, I would be at court with clients a lot. And so sometimes a lot of people who knew me would see me and say, hey, can you represent me today? I said, no, I'm actually a therapist. I'm not an attorney. Right. So they would see me at the court a lot. Yes. So it's just interesting. Interesting to be... I can't even think of the getting mixed up to be an attorney as opposed.
If you have a jacket on, they think you're an attorney.
Okay, all right. What was the most challenging part about making the movie?
Challenging part. I mean, when you're pulling together many pieces, all at once, you know, many individuals, many pieces that have to come together to make it happen. I mean, it's always something, you know, every phase. So, of course, initially starting out was raising some money, and then once we got the grant, that kind of, you know, helped quell that a little bit.
Oh, okay.
Then the next thing was coming up with a script, and that's a kind of interesting story because even though I ended up writing the script, I was not initially supposed to write the script.
Wow.
I initially was working with Darius Wallace, who ended up being our director, but he was tapped to actually write the script as well, and he is a recovering alcoholic, so that's where the whole thought of creating a film around one of the steps of the Alcoholics Anonymous, it came from him.
Okay.
And he was initially going to write a script for us called 12 Step.
Wow.
And he actually did write that script.
Oh, okay.
However, when we went in for the table read, we realized that the scope of the script was too large. And I'm learning all of this in real time, scope. You know, the number of pages of a project, the number of locations, the number of scenes, the number of characters.
Right.
That makes your project increase in cost and expense and everything. And so based on what he had written, we couldn't afford to do it. So that was like towards the end of 2022 when we got the script and we figured that out. So around the top of the year, I was talking to him. I said, well, we need another script and everything. So he was going to tackle it, and he came back. He said, well, why don't we do something around the fifth step? And I said, well, what's the fifth step? He explained to me what the fifth step. And so, but he's a traveling actor. Darius has been featured on Law and Order, Sisters, Tyler Perry, you know, several television shows. He does a Frederick Douglass one-man show across the country. So at the top of the year, he was actually about to start traveling.
Okay.
So initially I said, well, I'll help you, you know, anything like that. And so he said, okay, great. Yeah, please do. And so we had but in between we were using Christy Taylor, who's, she has a company, the Script Polisher. And so she does script consulting. So Christy was working with us too. And so I think we had maybe 2 sessions, and then I was working with Christy outside just to keep the ball rolling because I had raised money outside of the grant. So I knew I needed to produce something in 2023. So for me, I was now on a time crunch, you know, and so I needed a script by the end of March that I could start working and putting together to start shooting in July. So I was working with Christy on the in between, and so like by that second meeting with Darius, and I was coming back to him what we were, you know, coming up with and everything, and he said, you know, Angela, he said, it seems like you got the muse. Why don't you just write it? Just go ahead and write it. And I said, okay, I'm gonna do that. And so I said, you know what, I think I can do it, you know, and based on what she taught me, the way she taught me to do it, it ended up being, you know, easier than I thought. You know, so I did it. It took about 3 months. And so once I got a final script, and I didn't, you know, we wanted a feature length, but we were like, we're just going to tell the story and allow the story to dictate whether it's going to be a feature or not. And so it ended up being elongated because it's It's like 39, 40 minutes long, which
Okay.
is much longer than, it's almost right up under what a feature would be. Usually about 45, to 60 minutes is your shortest, feature. So we're like in that awkward time. But that's just how it worked out. So it's about 39 to 40 minutes long.
Yeah.
But it worked, it worked out well, and we were pleased. And once Darius was like, he was proud of me. He was like, "You did it."
Yeah.
You absolutely did. So I was proud too.
Yeah, I'm familiar with seeing his work on television and just seeing him around town at different events. So one of the things that came to mind as you were talking, how did you have the confidence to say yes to going ahead and finishing the script on your own?
So, I mean, I'm a writer.
Okay.
But I had not written like that, creative writing, since high school.
Okay.
But I used to write stories, books. We used to call them future books and things when I was in high school and college. Wrote poetry in college. But when you go to law school, they teach you how to think differently, and they actually teach you how to write differently. And so I just had not really tapped into that side of myself in a very long time. So this kind of awakened, so to speak, that creative, those creative juices. And once Christy kind of explained to me how the structure was, because we knew specifically that we wanted so that it would be in the scope and to keep the costs down. So we knew we wanted 1 to 4 locations, no more. We knew we wanted no more than about 3 or 4 characters, so to speak.
Okay.
And we knew we wanted to shoot in 4 days. We wanted to shoot it in 4 days.
Okay.
So now, based on knowing those parameters, we started building the story around that.
Yeah.
And so it ended up being, we were in one location 3 of the 4 days that we shot.
Okay.
And then on that 4th day, we did go to about, about 3 or 4 other locations, but they were all short and they were all within that 1 day.
Oh, wow.
And so once we knew what those parameters were, and we knew what the story was going to be, and we knew it was going to all take place in 1 day, then you start just kind of building up from that. Then I started watching movies that were structured that way. So I don't know, American Son, which is on Netflix.
Right.
Rope by Alfred Hitchcock.
Okay.
I'm trying to think. Malcolm and Marie. Those were 3 specifically that I watched.
Okay.
These were movies where there were 2 to 8 characters, basically 1 location. Started just really studying them. How were they structured? How did you make it interesting? How did you keep someone's attention with just 2 characters and really 1 location for the duration of the whole film?
Yeah.
So I just started picking that apart and seeing, oh, this is what they did. Oh, they do flashbacks. Oh, they do, that sort of thing, and then started building from there.
Okay, so you did a lot of research.
Yes, a lot of research.
Yeah. So, I mean, I really can appreciate your openness to the project. And the other thing that piques my interest and probably piques the interest of my audience as well, how do you balance your day job of being an attorney and your night job of being in the film industry?
I would say I'm fortunate in the fact that I own my own business and I do have staff with the business.
Okay.
So, because really it all blends in. I mean, I'm probably splitting my time now probably close to 50-50 between the 2.
Yeah.
And I'm pretty much running everything, but I've also picked up some staff on the nonprofit side as well. And I was fortunate to build the organization up to that point. So I'd say last year was the first year we were able to bring on staff to help me. And so I have two gentlemen that work with me now. And then we have other contract workers that work with us. So between those 2 staffs, that kind of helps me, basically balance out my time. And like I said, because I do control my schedule, then I'm just able to schedule things around, depending on what I need to do for the law firm or what I need to do for the nonprofit or delegate.
Okay.
So that's kind of how I'm able to do it.
Okay. Now, do you all do, I know sometimes if there's a production that's going on. They do table reads. Did you do like a table read to prepare for the movie?
We did a virtual table read for the first script.
Oh, okay.
And then we have our virtual community, the tour club. And so I think one of those Monday nights we did a table read. And the second script, I don't recall if we did a virtual table read for that one. I just don't recall right now. But yeah, that's basically how we did it.
Okay. And you mentioned the tour club. Can you tell the audience what that is?
So the tour club is it's another program of On Location Memphis. It's our online networking site for filmmakers, music creators, and really everyone associated with a film production. So you're below the line and above line staff. We do focus on digital distribution. So we do a lot of Monday night, I say the first Monday of the month. Well, not the first, but on Mondays once a month, we talk to distributors, online distributors and television, and kind of find out how does their distribution model work, how do people make money and everything. And then we also interview attorneys, just other individuals who are associated with the film production space.
Okay.
And so, and we have those in the club. And so members, they can connect with each other. They can get resources as far as sample contracts and things. And then we also, this year, since we were connected with the law school, Cecil C. Humphrey School of Law. We're set up as an entertainment law externship. So we started doing consultations. And so individuals can schedule consultations with us, and we can basically do some contract drafting and, and that sort of thing, and give music business consulting.
Wow.
Entertainment business consulting.
That's wonderful. Okay. And it's interesting too because I'm an unofficial minor in music from Fisk University as a Fisk Jubilee singer. And I tried to slide in some entertainment business courses and wasn't quite able to get that done. But I wanted to do like a partnership with, what is it? I want to say Cecil Humphrey, that's not correct, in Nashville. What is that? Curb Music Group. Yeah, with Curb Music. I wanted to do something like that, but I wasn't able to get it approved. But yeah, I mean, I've just always been interested in music. So now when you said that you came here and you were interested in gospel, now were you saying as a singer or were you saying to represent artists? What is it that you were interested in when you first came?
So I was interested in the gospel music industry on the business and legal side. From the business and legal side. I actually, when I was in law school, I interned with a gospel record label there. And so I used to work with their artists and travel with them and that sort of thing. And so that's really what got me interested in the music industry as an attorney at all, because I really wasn't interested, I really just didn't know anything or thought anything about it. So that's why I was interested in coming in on the business side. And originally I moved here because I had family here. So, I'm moving somewhere, I wasn't recruited here. So it was just easy because I was able to stay with family while I studied for the bar. Once I passed the bar, the plan was initially to move to Nashville, but I just ended up staying. I just got met friends, got a church home, and just started getting a part of the community. And that's when I met Mr. Dale and started working with him, and he was I think he had just stopped working with 3-6 Mafia or whatever, had just turned over to gospel rap or whatever. Right. And so I started working with him and, just started really just meeting different individuals in the community. And those were the ones who kind of just kept me in it. Because once I really started focusing on real estate, realizing I needed to build a practice that could sustain me, I did focus a lot on the real estate, but there was just one or two specific artists that just kept coming back saying, no, we want you to help us. And I'm like, oh, okay. And then, until I found the nonprofit. So I parlay a lot. I really don't do a lot of clients through my law firm on entertainment. I just kind of parlay a lot of that into the nonprofit and the educating of the next set of attorneys coming out of the law school. Okay, wonderful. Do you have plans to do any other film projects? We would like to. We would like to do more film projects. We're definitely exploring, I would say, reality TV.
Okay.
I mean, that's an area that is open to a series, you know, episodic series. So we're open to it. It is, you know, based on what kind of funding we can get.
Yeah.
And so we, you know, we do have some grants out there. And, you know, we want to give this information as far as what we're learning through this process, because we've been executing a specific marketing strategy, low budgeted type marketing strategy for this project. And we want to, and it's basically I'd say a 6-month type of deal, 6 to 9 month process. And so at the end of the year, we're going to report on what we found out. What were the results? You know, how much did we spend and how much did we make?
Okay.
And what did we do in the interim? So being able to provide that type of information to the independent filmmakers and that community is something else that we want to do, because it's still all about monetization and making money.
Okay. So if people want to attend the movie this Sunday, how can they get a ticket?
If they are interested in getting a ticket, and I might say the tickets are going fast.
Yes.
Just go to onlocationmemphis.org. onlocationmemphis.org. You go there and they'll take you right where you need to go.
And if they need you for legal services, how would they contact you?
So if they wanted to contact me for legal services, they can go to greenelawfirmmem.com and they can submit a request to contact.
Okay. Do you have any advice for people who are interested in entering the film industry right here in Memphis?
Well, I would say just start connecting with other filmmakers and other individuals in the community. Network side to side as opposed to always looking up, because you never know who you may run into, you know, what people are doing. And then also be a student of the craft, you know, really study, learn about what it is that you want to do, and learn about the business side of it.
Okay.
You know.
Thank you so much for being my special guest. I've enjoyed having you.
Thank you.
And audience, we hope you get a chance to check out Fifth Step, the movie. Thank you so much. Good night.
Thank you. Good night.
Ladies, do you feel feminine during your feminine flow? You know, your monthly cycle, your period? Are you still suffering in silence? The suffering is over. It's time to choose Rain. Rain is an all-natural, premium sanitary napkin with 8 layers of cotton, high-grade polymers, graphene to help cut bacteria by 99.9%. Ladies, let's protect the most precious jewel in the world, you.
Rain Premium Sanitary Napkins do not make any medically bad. Or personal recommendations of any kind. For more information, contact Marilyn McGee.
Can you actually imagine hosting your next event at the all-new SVP Banquet and Event Center? Yes! Spacious, beautiful venue with plenty of parking, located in the heart of East Memphis. Let us host your next intimate birthday gathering, family repast, bachelorette party, wedding and reception, baby shower, corporate meeting, social club event. Call us today. Don't wait. 901-244-6874. The all-new